Hey guys, today we're gonna look at what exact layers goes into making old school leads like this. There's more to this lead than just a couple of saw layers and a reverb, and some pretty advanced techniques were used to make it work. So let's unpack the entire thing and see how it's made. Alright, the entire lead is made up of three main components. There's the core lead sound, the chord, and the low end layer. On top of that, there's the processing with some pretty advanced triggering for the reverb and delay. We'll start by looking at the core lead. The first layer is a basic supersaw. Now, I say basic because it technically is a pretty simple sound, but at the same time, it's the heart of any old school lead. This is the layer that gives that gritty texture to the lead, especially when it hits those lower notes, because what happens at lower notes is that the signal oscillates at a lower speed, which increases the distance between the sawtooths, and this enables them to really poke through. It's something that should definitely be considered in the melody writing. Hitting those lower notes in between the melody is a core identity of old school hardstyle leads. The second layer is a square lead, and this is where we can influence the character of the lead. So we have the saw layer that gives us that core old school sound, and then the second layer to give it whatever character we're looking for. This could be anything. It could be a more detuned layer to make it more raw sounding. It could be a distorted layer or a layer with pitch LFO. In this case, the square sound is of course a classic, and it goes really well with the supersaw to make a really thick core lead sound. The last of the core layers is this reduced layer, and it has the same patch as the supersaw. And you may ask, well, why does it have its own layer if it's the same sound? Why are these notes not just part of the first layer? Let me show you. This actually happens very often. This layer is slightly different, and it becomes immediately noticeable if we copy these notes and paste them into the first layer. So these notes are not really meant to be part of the core lead sound, they're more so meant to be living somewhat behind it. And so when we use the same layer as the top lead, they're coming through way too strong. But by placing these notes on their own layer and giving them a very slight EQ adjustment in the high end, we can separate them from the top lead and keep the top lead in focus. Let's listen to the difference. Very often, simply reducing the level of the individual notes is not enough to create that separation between the two layers, and that's why separating them by frequency is a cool technique. Next up is the chord, and this layer can be worked in so many different ways. It can be a constant background layer, almost like a string background. It can be on alternating notes, it can be a sidechain pulse, or like in this case, it can be placed on top of the lead notes to act as part of the melody. This layer brings more complexity to the lead and also a bit more body and brightness. But it's really the complexity part that weighs here, right? It brings that second element to the lead. You could easily run this lead without it. It's really a matter of personal taste and whether the lead needs that added element or not. The low end is very basic. It's a very wide saw patch with the highs cut out. A Again, the low end can be set up in many different ways. Here we have a classic alternating pattern of low and high notes. Sometimes it fits more with a static tone. Sometimes instead of going from low to high, it's better with high to low. It all depends on taste and what else is in the lead. The processing is interesting because this is where we bring that separate trigger layer into play as well. But before that, all the layers are routed through this OTT. So let's see what that does. So the OTT is doing a couple of things. First, it flattens the frequency balance of the lead. Before it was very mid-heavy, and with OTT, that part gets squeezed down to the same level as the highs. So it's a very flat frequency balance with OTT. Secondly, all the elements get brought up to the same level. Before, the stuff going on in between the top lead gets kind of lost. It doesn't really keep up its drive. But with OTT, all of that stuff gets pushed up to the same level as the top lead. So there's a much more consistent energy delivery. And last thing is the attack portion. Before it was very soft, and with OTT it just gets sharpened a bit and pushed a bit more in your face. So all in all, OTT squeezes the lead layers together and makes it more constant and energetic. Now for the reverb and delay, we have a simple ping pong delay on send. And then we have 2 reverbs on send. The reason for having 2 reverb sends is simply because it allows for a more customized reverb. The reverbs themselves are not even different. What's different is the ducking. So one of the sidechains have a very long release and the other one has an instant release. And this dual setup is sometimes necessary to really make the ducking behave exactly as you want it to. When you only work with one sidechain, the behavior you can get with this one release knob might not fit. So bringing the second instance into play gives you more control. Again, the sound of the reverb will not really change from the second instance, but now you have the flexibility of being able to mix the 2 ducking behaviors. Let's take a listen with and without the sidechain on the reverb and delay. With the sidechain on, the melody is a lot more in focus and has more space to come through. Now, the second part to this is this separate layer that triggers these sidechains. This is called a ghost trigger, and you'll notice that it doesn't actually have any output of sound. It is a completely silent layer, but the notes of the layer can still be used to trigger the sidechain. And the reason why a ghost trigger had to be used here is because of the melody. In the melody, we actually only want the ducking of the reverb and delay to happen during these top notes. The lower notes, same as with the reduced layer, is more so here to fill in the gaps between the melody. So if these are used to trigger the sidechain as well, it will be triggered all the time. Instead, with the ghost notes, we can remove all of these lower notes so that the reverb and delay are only ducking on the melody. It's not all old school leads that need ducking. Sometimes it just naturally blends in and can coexist with the synth layers without stealing focus. It really depends. I explain more about the ghost trigger in this video. It's a good watch because there's more to it than just the timing of the triggering. And that's it. This is how a high-level old school lead is designed. Much of it comes down to the melody writing as well. The more simple nature of these old school leads have to be carried by a really strong melody, but that's a completely different topic and of course very subjective as well. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.